Hey everyone! Thinking about LASIK, we're diving deep today to help you decide if it's right for you.
It's really amazing the way LASIK can be life-changing for some folks.
I agree. But before we get ahead of ourselves, what actually is LASIK?
Well, LASIK stands for laser-assisted in situ keratomileusis.
Whoa, slow down. Let's break that down for our listeners.
Right. It sounds super complicated, but it's basically using a laser to reshape your cornea.
The cornea.
Yeah, that's the clear front part of your eye.
Okay.
So laser reshapes that part so light focuses properly on your retina.
Okay, so it's all about getting a clear image back there.
Exactly. And the best part, it's usually a permanent fix.
No more glasses or contacts. Sign me up.
Well, hold on. Over 90% of suitable candidates end up with amazing vision without needing glasses or contacts again.
That's still pretty amazing. And let's not forget the financial side of things.
Yeah, I was surprised when I started looking into it.
Me too. I always thought of LASIK as this super expensive thing.
Most people do. But did you know that LASIK can actually be cheaper than a lifetime of glasses and contacts?
Really? Tell me more.
So the average cost for LASIK is about $2,200 per eye. But get this, over your lifetime, glasses, contacts, and all those checkups can add up to anywhere between like $9,300 and over $17,000.
Wow, that really puts things into perspective.
Right. It's about looking at the big picture.
So it might cost more upfront, but it could save money down the line.
Right. But of course, there's a big catch. Not everyone's a good candidate for LASIK.
That makes sense. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, right?
Exactly. It's a medical procedure.
So how do you know if LASIK is even an option? What makes someone a good candidate?
Oh, first of all, you have to be in good general health.
Makes sense.
Like, think of it this way. Your body needs to be able to heal properly after the procedure.
Yeah, just like any other medical procedure.
Right. And things like autoimmune diseases or other conditions can make LASIK a bit riskier.
So you really need to be in tip-top shape.
And of course, your eyes need to be healthy too.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading something about your vision needing to be stable, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's key because they're correcting your current prescription.
Oh, I see. So if your vision is still changing, it might not work as well.
Right. And then there's the whole corneal thickness thing.
That one sounded kind of scary.
I know, but think of it this way. The cornea is kind of like the windshield of your eye,
Okay.
and it needs to be the right thickness for the laser to work.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Like you wouldn't want a windshield that's too thin or too thick, right?
Okay, I'm with you. So the cornea has to be just right.
Right. Not too thin, not too thick, just right.
Goldilocks cornea. So we talked about general health, stable vision, corneal thickness. What about age?
Oh, yeah. Age is a big one. Like, if you're under 18, LASIK is not usually recommended.
Yeah, our research mentioned that. Something about your eyes still developing.
Exactly. It's best to wait until your vision has stabilized, usually in your early 20s.
Oh, okay. And what about on the other end of the spectrum? Is there an age that's too old?
It really depends on the person and their eyes.
So it's not a hard cutoff.
Nope. Some folks in their 40s, 50s, or even older can be good candidates, but you definitely got to talk to your eye doctor.
Okay, so age is important, but not a deal breaker.
Right. It's all about those individual circumstances.
And our research also mentioned that being pregnant could disqualify you too.
Oh, yeah. Hormones. Pregnancy can really affect your vision.
Really? I had no idea.
Yep. It can make things a bit unpredictable, so it's usually recommended to wait until after pregnancy and breastfeeding.
Oh, wow. So many things to think about.
It's true. And there's one more really important thing. Realistic expectations.
What do you mean?
Well, while most people do achieve 20/40 vision or better after LASIK,
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
perfect 20/20 vision isn't guaranteed.
Okay, so it's more about improving your vision significantly.
Exactly. It's about reducing your dependence on glasses or contacts.
Okay, so LASIK is like getting a vision upgrade, but not necessarily achieving perfect vision.
Exactly. Like, it's personalized and everyone's results will be unique.
That makes sense.
It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of LASIK and what makes a good candidate. Now let's talk about the good stuff, the potential benefits.
Right. Let's get to the exciting part.
What are some of the things that people love about LASIK?
Oh, there's so much to love.
Right, so we've talked about who makes a good candidate for LASIK, but what about the actual experience? What's it like to go through the procedure itself?
Well, the procedure is a lot quicker and less invasive than most people think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whole thing usually takes about 20 minutes,
20 minutes.
and you're awake the whole time.
Whoa, that's crazy. 20 minutes. So it's like, what, just a quick in and out kind of thing?
Pretty much. It all starts with numbing eye drops so you don't feel anything.
Oh, that's good.
And then they use a special instrument to create a thin flap in the outer layer of your cornea.
A flap. Wait, what? That sounds kind of intense.
Yeah, the word flap always gets people, but it's actually a very precise process.
Okay, but a flap. In my eye.
Think of it like um, lifting the top layer of a cake to add frosting underneath.
Okay, I can kind of picture that.
So they lift this flap, and then the laser comes
The
in.
laser, that's the part I'm nervous about.
Well, the laser is what reshapes your cornea according to your prescription.
So it's like zapping away tiny bits of your eye to change its shape.
Pretty much. It's super precise, though.
So after the laser does its thing, they just put the flap back down.
Exactly. It's like a natural bandage.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
It is pretty cool. And then you'll start to notice an improvement in your vision almost right away.
Wait, really? Right away?
Yep. It might be a little blurry at first,
Okay.
but most people see really well within the first 24 hours.
That's wild. But what about recovery? What can people expect after the procedure?
Most people have some mild discomfort for a few hours.
Like what kind of discomfort?
Kind of a scratchy or gritty sensation.
Ah, I hate that feeling.
But you'll get eye drops to help with that and prevent any infection.
Okay, that's good. So no rubbing your eyes, I guess.
Definitely not for a few days.
And what about other stuff? Like when can you go back to work? Can you wear makeup?
Yeah, your doctor will give you specific instructions.
Okay.
But generally, no makeup, no swimming, and no rubbing your eyes for a few days.
Got it. So take it easy for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Got to let those eyes heal properly.
Okay, so how long does it usually take to fully recover from LASIK?
Most people see a big improvement within the first day, and it keeps getting better over the next few weeks.
Oh, wow, that's pretty fast.
And you'll have follow-up appointments so your doctor can check on you.
Makes sense.
And, even though you can see pretty well right away, your vision usually stabilizes within a few months.
So it's a process, not just an instant fix.
Yeah, it's important to be patient and follow your doctor's instructions throughout the recovery process.
Okay, that's good advice. So we've talked about the procedure itself and the recovery, but I know there are a lot of questions out there about LASIK, like, is it painful?
Yeah, that's a common one.
I mean, the idea of a laser near your eye sounds kind of scary.
It does, but honestly, the procedure itself isn't usually painful at all.
Really?
Remember those numbing eye drops?
Right.
They work wonders.
Oh, thank goodness for numbing eye drops.
Seriously. And afterwards, you might have some mild discomfort, but it's usually manageable with regular painkillers.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's like that feeling of getting soap in your eye, just a little uncomfortable, but it passes quickly.
Okay, that makes me feel better. But what about safety? Is LASIK really as safe as people say?
It has an excellent safety record.
Okay, good to know.
It's been performed millions of times, and technology is always improving.
But our research did mention some risks and complications.
Of course, every surgery has risks.
So what are the chances of something going wrong?
Well, serious complications are very rare, less than 1% of cases.
Wow, that's pretty low.
It's like flying. Statistically, it's very safe.
Yeah, but there's always that tiny chance.
Exactly, but choosing an experienced surgeon really minimizes those risks.
That's why it's so important to do your research.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask your doctor about their experience in the technology they use.
It's your eyes we're talking about. Okay, another big question. How long does LASIK last? Is it a permanent fix?
For most people, the results are very long-lasting,
Okay, that's what I've heard.
but your vision can still change naturally as you age.
So even if you have LASIK, you might still need reading glasses when you're older.
It's possible.
Ah, man, getting old.
I know. But think of it like getting a new paint job on your house. It looks great for a long time, but eventually you might need a touch-up.
That's a good way to put it. So LASIK doesn't stop the natural aging process.
Exactly. But it can definitely improve your vision for a long time.
Okay, and speaking of age, is there an ideal age range for LASIK?
Well, like we said before, under 18 is usually not recommended.
Right, because your eyes are still developing.
And on the other end, it really depends on the person.
So there's no upper limit.
Not really. Some people in their 40s, 50s, even older, can be good candidates.
Okay, so age isn't necessarily a deal breaker.
But you got to talk to your eye doctor. Get that professional opinion.
Always good advice. Okay, one more question that I think a lot of people wonder about. Can you have LASIK more than once?
Yeah, it's possible.
Oh, really?
It's called an enhancement.
Enhancement. Okay.
And it's if your vision changes a lot after the first surgery.
Oh, so it's like a touch-up.
Exactly. But most people don't need one.
Okay, so it's not a one-time thing, but it's not like you're getting LASIK every few years.
Right. Enhancements are usually only needed in a small percentage of cases.
Okay, good to know. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. We've gone through the procedure, talked about recovery, and tackled some common questions about pain, safety, and how long LASIK lasts.
Yeah, I think we've given our listeners a pretty good overview.
But there's still more to explore, right?
Right. In part 3, we'll dive into how LASIK can actually impact your lifestyle, talk more about the financial stuff, and help you decide if LASIK is the right choice for you.
Okay, we're back and ready to wrap up our LASIK deep dive. I've covered a lot of ground already. The procedure, the recovery, all those burning questions.
But now we get to talk about how LASIK can actually change your life.
Yeah, I'm excited about this part. How would clearer vision change things for you, the listener? What would it be like to wake up and just see?
No more fumbling for glasses in the morning, no more blurry mornings.
Yeah.
Imagine hitting the gym, without worrying about your
Oh
contacts.
my gosh. Yeah.
Popping out mid-workout or swimming without needing those prescription goggles.
Or how about traveling? No more packing all that contact lens stuff
Seriously.
or losing your glasses in some foreign country.
The convenience is amazing. But it's more than that. Think about your hobbies.
Yeah, like what?
Photography, hiking, stargazing, all that stuff becomes so much more enjoyable.
Right. I love hiking, and I can't tell you how many times I've wished I could see those mountain views more clearly.
Exactly. And for some people, it's even more than that. It's about confidence.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Not feeling self-conscious about your glasses or contacts can really boost your self-esteem.
Oh, yeah. I remember being a teenager and feeling so awkward with my glasses.
And if LASIK had been an option back then,
Who knows, right?
totally different person maybe.
Maybe. But seriously, there are so many benefits beyond just the medical stuff.
It's about freedom, confidence, seeing the world in a new way.
So you're saying LASIK could be life-changing?
For a lot of people, it really is. But we got to be realistic. It's not a magic solution for everything.
Right. It's not going to solve all your problems overnight.
Exactly. But it can make a huge difference.
And speaking of differences, let's talk about the financial side.
Okay, the money talk.
We touched on it earlier, but LASIK is an investment, right?
It is. The average cost is about $2,200 per eye, and most insurance doesn't cover it.
Yeah, because it's considered elective.
Right, but you have to think about the long-term costs.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Glasses, contacts, solutions, eye exams, it adds up.
Like, our research said it could be anywhere from $9,300 to over $17,000 over a lifetime.
That's a lot of money. So
Yeah.
when you compare that to LASIK,
It makes you think, huh?
for many people, LASIK actually saves money in the long run.
Plus, you don't have to keep buying new glasses or contacts.
It's true. It's an investment in your vision, your quality of life.
And there are financing options available too, right?
Absolutely. Many clinics offer payment plans or work with healthcare financing companies.
So don't let the price tag scare you off without doing your research.
Yeah, crunch the numbers, think about the long-term benefits.
Okay, so we've talked about the benefits, the cost.
Right.
How do you actually decide if LASIK is right for you?
It's about weighing the pros and cons,
Right.
your individual needs, your circumstances.
And the first step is talking to an eye doctor.
Absolutely. They can tell you if you're a good candidate, answer all your questions.
Ask about their experience, their success rates.
Exactly. You want to feel comfortable with your doctor.
And once you've had that consultation, take some time to think it over.
Think about your lifestyle, your vision goals, your budget,
Talk to people who have had LASIK. Do your research.
and trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to say no.
Or get a second opinion.
Exactly. You're in control of your eye health.
And remember, even if LASIK isn't right for you now, there might be other options.
Or it might be a possibility down the road.
Yeah, the field is always changing.
Who knows what amazing advancements are just around the corner.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, the decision is ultimately a personal one.
Gather the information, weigh the options, and choose what feels right for you.
And your vision for the future.
Exactly.
We hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and confidence to make an informed decision.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time, happy seeing.